For ankle inversions, position yourself on a bench or step with your foot and ankle hanging off of the end, keeping the knee straight. Support the knee and begin by turning the inside of your foot towards the midline of your body. You can add resistance to the same drill with a band, getting into the same setup and once again turning the sole of your foot towards the inside or midline of your body. For ankle eversions, get into the same setup and this time turn the outside part of your foot away from your body. Once again, a band can be used to provide extra resistance. Just make sure to keep the knee supported and not allow the upper leg to move. For the basic hip bridge, begin by lying down on the ground with your feet about shoulders width apart. Maintain an arch in your foot as you gently brace your core and press into the ground using the glutes and hamstrings until your body forms a ramp from your shoulder right through your knee. To make the exercise a little bit more demanding, switch to a one-legged version where you hold the opposite leg up over your hips, making sure not to hyperextend by using the lower back. Once again, press into the floor until your body forms a diagonal line. Finally, the marching hip bridge causes you to keep your hips in the air as you extend one leg and then the other without dropping them. For the clamshell exercise, lie down on your side with your knees bent about 90 degrees, keeping your hips stacked and feet together. Simply try to separate the knees using the muscles on the outside of the hip. A mini band can also be added to the exercise for extra resistance. You can also strengthen the hips with mini band lateral walks by looping a mini band around the ankles and keeping good alignment in the shoulders and hips as you stride out to the side. For the mini band squat, place a mini band just below the knees and set your feet slightly wider than shoulders width apart. With your toes turned out slightly, begin by trying to rip the band and the floor apart with your feet as you push the hips back and descend into a parallel squat. Make sure to keep your eyes up and maintain an upright torso. For the three-way reach, position 3 cones as shown here, and then balancing on one leg, maintain an arch in the foot as you gently reach towards each cone, trying to keep the working side leg in line from the toe through the knee and the hip. For the leg lowering drill, begin by looping one foot into a stretch strap or using a large towel to bring your leg up into a hamstring stretch. Next, press your lower back firmly into the ground as you bring the opposite leg up, and then slowly lower it as far as you can without allowing your lower back to come away from the ground. Return the leg to the starting position and repeat. The unilateral RDL once again offers a great way to work on some single leg stability while strengthening the glutes and hamstrings. Begin by placing a cone in front of you and then softening one knee just a bit. Next, hip hinge by bending over at the waist and driving the back leg behind you as you reach forward towards the cone. Try to maintain a nice straight back and keep the back leg straight behind you as you press through your heel to come back up to a standing position. For the side lying adduction, begin by lying on your side and bringing one leg over the top, securing it with your opposite arm. Keep the bottom leg straight with the toes pointed straight ahead as you gently lift and hold at the top position before lowering back to the ground. For the VMO leg raise, begin in a seated position with your torso held upright and arms behind you for support. Next, extend one leg straight out in front of you and rotate it out to the side about 5 degrees. From there, gently lift the leg off the ground, holding for a second or two at the top of each contraction. Here are two versions of the abdominal plank. For the full version, begin by getting your forearms down onto the ground, packing your shoulders, and bracing your abs and glutes to maintain a nice straight line without letting the lower back hyperextend. For a beginner's version, you have the option of dropping the knees to the ground, but still want to maintain a nice straight back position. Staying with the core, here are two versions of the dying bug. For the beginner's version, get down onto the ground with the feet flat on the floor and lower back pressed into the ground, and take turns extending one arm in the opposite leg without allowing the lower back to gap away from the floor. For the advanced version, simply lift the legs off the ground and make sure to brace the core tightly. For the chin tuck, stand leaning against the wall with your head, shoulder blades, and tailbone touching the wall. Start out with your chin just above parallel and then retract it towards the back of the head, basically trying to create a double chin. Hold each contraction for 2 to 3 seconds at a time. For the wall slide, get into a similar position as the chin tuck, except this time you're going to externally rotate your arms and place them up on the wall. Keeping your back close to the wall, simply slide your arms up the wall as high as they'll go without losing contact with it.